On your marks, get set, bake.
I love that.
Good flavor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
Welcome back to the tent. It's Krème Patisserie. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. It's dessert week. It's going to be a good time to be had there. I am your host, Interstate 713, joined by my other host, it's Nick Jew.
Hello.
But we don't stop there. No, it's the homie Victoria back in the building to help us discuss dessert week because she's sweet and I like her. What's good, Lake? Welcome back to the game.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
As am I. Y'all, this was so Vanessa just got to watch this episode last night. Normally we watch together, but I was already ahead of the game. I watched the British feed of this show last week because I had been spoiled on who got left, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and watch this right now so I won't get any worse off. And so then me and Vanessa sit to watch it yesterday, and I'm like, hold up. So y'all know every week I talk about the intro to this show. I like, hey,
Was it different?
it is different, and I'm going to show you the difference. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This video probably, you probably only get to see this if you're watching this live because they probably going to be like, you got to take it off the video before you post it on YouTube. So right now, I'm going to play this video and check out the difference.
It's dessert week.
No, it's not yet. Remember what Paul and Prue said?
Can't have dessert week until you've finished your supper.
Exactly. Now finish that pea.
Not sure I can manage it.
Go on. Done.
Now it's dessert week.
Welcome to the Great British Bake Off. Next.
Oh, I can't manage trifle. That pea was so filling.
I'll have it myself. Last.
It's dessert week.
No, it's not yet. Remember what Paul and Prue said?
Can't have dessert week until you've finished your supper.
Exactly. Now finish that pea.
Not sure I can manage it.
Go on. Done.
Now it's dessert week.
Welcome to the Great British Baking Show.
Trifle? I can't manage trifle. I've had a pea. It wasn't a petit pois. It was a big garden pea.
You look like a pea.
It's two different jokes at the end there, and I'm like, look at
I was gonna
that.
say just that little bit.
Just that little bit, but it was just noticeable enough to me. I was like, that's different. What is going on here? And I've never noticed before, and I don't know if this has been happening this whole time. So I might have to poke around in these internet streets and be like, is this the whole time they've been doing this different? What I also did notice was this. I wrote it down. Let me make sure I get it right. Is that also did the okay. Allison does the VO on the UK version. Noel does the VO on the international version. So I was like, yo, this is crazy. These differences that I've never noticed. You know, I watch the show like really, hard. So I'm stuff like that there. But yeah, I was like, that's really nifty to me. And so I just thought I'd share that with you, the listeners, as well. Use my home. So that's what it is this week. That was this week's bit. I didn't even have to discuss it. I actually got to show it to you, maybe if you got to see it, but still.
I wonder if the American audience knows Noel better, and so they went with him doing the VO or something. I don't know.
I think Allison's accent is just thick enough that some people might be like, I don't know. Because I love her accent. It's hilarious to me. And in fact, we'll get to that at one point during this discussion. But I think it's just, it can probably throw off just enough that they're like, you can do it over here. Everybody else can get the no, because no can just, I don't know.
I love when she gets to say on your mark, get set, bake, just because of the way she says bake. Bake.
Every time with a little difference, and every now and again a little patois. I love it. But let's get to it. In the tent this week remaining is Christian, Dylan, Georgie, Jill, Elaine, and Samaya. And again, I did not make it. Well, you don't know this because I told them, but I'm telling you now, the listener. I didn't pull a Baker's Bake the World around this week. Worry not. Plus, if I go looking for news at this hour, all I'm going to do is find out who got kicked off the show tonight. Because remember, it has already aired in England as we record this. And then I'm going to have, I don't want to be known quite yet. Okay. So that's what's going on. So, Nick, you know what I'm saying? Walk us into it, girl.
Sure. Signature challenge: 8 meringue nests. Can be any style that they choose, but must have 2 fillings, and they have 2 hours and 15 minutes.
All right, y'all. Let's talk about our signature this week.
Wait, one thing.
Okay.
They were all walking into the tent. They had them walk past some like gelatinous dessert, and it was jiggling, and I almost turned it off. I'm like, oh, why are we doing this? Why are you particularly exclusively attacking me right now?
It's the same dessert they used later when Allison came out and said, "I made you a dessert." So it's just proper. It's a good time, but I know you don't like.
Nothing good about food that moves.
Getting your gelatinized situation.
That's probably a good life role.
Right.
It's gotta be right. That's be honest. Take advantage of that. I'm saying meringues. I don't know if we eat them that much here in the States. I've had them. They're lovely. I'm just, it's just not something like, I'm like, man, we got the meringues popping over here, or you can go pick up some meringues from somewhere, so.
Yeah, I feel like you see the meringue kisses, but you don't see like the pavlova a lot.
Yeah. And so these are, some of these are they look relatively large compared to like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, the kisses and stuff. So let's begin with Ms. Eliane, who's going to go try her hand at a pina colada meringue. She's bringing about pina colada meringue nest. Immediately when she's explained to Paul what the deal is, Paul reaches out and shakes her hand because we all, well, if you've been watching a long time, you know Paul got a thing for pina colada that won't quit, y'all. So respect to that man. I am not a fan of that combination of flavors. I love pineapple. I love coconut. Don't put them together, please.
That's interesting because I don't like coconut, but I'll drink a pina colada.
Fascinating. No.
You don't like the texture though, right? You don't like the texture? Or do you not like the flavor either?
I don't think I appreciate that combination of flavors. And I'm not like a hater. I'll have my pineapple on pizza, situation, whatever. Nothing like that. I enjoy pineapple on its own. I enjoy coconut on its own.
Together, it's not for you.
No.
I heard that and I was like, oh, I want to try to recreate this. Like, I need to make this.
Well, this is going to be a pineapple curd, lime gel that's going to sit in a coconut meringue topped with fresh pineapple that has been caramelized in non-alcoholic rum. Everything she made was non-alcoholic, and I banged with it. I was like, okay, lady, I see you. Keeping it real, but also keeping it right. So I dig it.
I wonder if that's why she like covers her hair too. She's some particular why she don't drink.
Never thought about that, but hey, that's probably something, right? Christian. Smell the roses meringue nest. Rose water meringue filled with walnut praline and cherry jam, topped with rose water and sour cream chantilly cream, and a maraschino cherry to top it off. Y'all now. We got it on lock. Chantilly cream is just whipped cream. So imagine mixing rose water into some sour cream, and then whipping that into some whipped cream, and thinking that's gonna hit.
Terrifying.
I mean, he's liked his weird flavor combos from day one, though, right?
Yeah, it seems to be his vibe, and yeah,
he's like a 30-70 success rate if Paul and Prue like those combinations at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Paul do not like. I've never seen anybody get rose water right where Paul was like, "Oh, that rose is doing something for me." He just don't like it. Ugh. You ever had Turkish Delight?
No.
Standard Turkish Delight is flavored with rose water.
Rose, I'm allergic to roses, so I avoid rose water at all costs.
Yeah, so they made Turkish Delight seem so like a smashing in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when I was a youngin', and so years later I saw Turkish Delight somewhere. I was like, oh, I gotta try this. No, you don't. Trust me, it's not enough to sell out your family for. Okay,
it's not that good.
Dylan is going for Coconut Illusion Meringue Nest. He's taking these molded half spears of meringue, going to paint them with dark chocolate to make them look like coconut halves. Then he's going to fill it with a coconut bavois, passion fruit, and top with rum-soaked genoise sponge. He had to bake them upside down to encourage them to dry out. And I was like, word? I don't think we've talked about genoise this go-round. I don't think anybody has made a genoise sponge, so I got you guys that. Genoise is a French sponge cake named after the city of Genoa. It was created by Francois Massiello, the chef de cuisine. Check this out. He got another title. Officier de bouche, officer of the mouth.
Oh.
Fire.
Put the explicit label on this because officer of the mouth and all the dick jokes that are coming. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's not a spotted dick going on in this show. He was the chef for lots of French aristocracy back in the 1800s. Yeah, the 1700s.
Change a name in my phone to officer.
Instead of using baking soda or powder, air is suspended in the batter during the mixing to provide volume. It's a whole egg cake and gets most of its fat from the egg yolks, though some versions use melted butter. Might as well hit you with a bavois while you get it. Bavois is a French dessert consisting of an egg-based cooked custard, milk thickened with eggs, gelatin, and whipped cream. They also used another. They described another. Basically, they described fish gelatin, but it has a different name than gelatin, like isolate or something like that. But I did not. It's still gelatin, y'all. It's just made from a different animal. So worry not. Georgie is trying her hand at Aunt Meryl's plum meringue nest. It's going to be some almond flavored meringue that she's going to fill with an orange curd, mascarpone, amaretto cream, and plum compote. Georgie was lightweight on fire this week, but just not as good as somebody else. Jill, just peachy meringue nests. These are going to be filled with a peach crème made from 10 peaches, with raspberry coulis and mascarpone chantilly cream topped with peach roses and fresh raspberries. A daub of raspberries, how she described the raspberries when they said, them some big old raspberries. Girl. They make my thumb. There's some big old raspberries.
Massive, yeah.
Crème. I got you a big old paragraph on what crème is. Crème is a cream anglaise that is emulsified with chocolate. Cream anglaise is similar to custard, but it's not as dense since it doesn't require a thickening agent like cornstarch to achieve its creamy texture. It's made from cream, milk, egg yolks, and sugar, with chocolate added at the end to create the crème. In this case, she didn't add chocolate. She's doing this with the chopped up 10 peaches. Egg yolks are first beaten with sugar, then tempered with heated mixture of cream and milk before being heated in a saucepan and blended with chocolate. Crème literally means creamy in French. It's soft and smooth, but stable enough to be piped into other desserts. It differs from mousse in that it does not contain whipped ingredients, doesn't have that airy texture, and it's fuller in consistency. Instead of the fluffy meringue quality that egg whites give mousse, crème relies on the emulsification properties of the fatty egg yolks to achieve its final form. Word to crème.
More ganache, probably.
Yeah, it's got a real thickness to it that I think all would appreciate if you like a thicker kind of dessert situation. Samaya's trying her hand with pomegranate and plenty more meringue nests. So listen to what I'm gonna read out, y'all. Cardamom and toasted rice powder flavored meringues. I'm gonna fill those with walnut praline. I'm gonna top that with pomegranate cream and apricots. And then we're gonna have poached in tarragon and honey. The apricots that have been poached in tarragon and honey. And in my own personal note says, by definition, doing too much.
It just sounds like a bunch of pepper and fruit and sweet things.
It's just like there are some things that go with other things, and I
Yes.
do want to try that meringue, like that rice powder meringue. I'm so interested in because I always think meringue's too sweet, but they said that was more like earthy. But the filling,
yes, I don't know. I there's levels to this, and I think she was anyway. Right around here, for what? Is it a time card or was she just saying time's up? Either way, Allison says, "Oh, that was real brummy," and I'm like, "Give me a word. What is this?" Brummy is a demonym for people from Birmingham and the dialect spoken in that part of the country, though it's at this point all over the country. Allison happens to be from where? North Birmingham district of King Standing, so it makes sense that she would have a Brummy accent. And then somebody, I love that they let somebody like off camera be like, "They're giving me subtitles." She's like, "They're giving subtitles." The cheek.
I had to put subtitles on this week when I was doing notes because I was like, what is everybody saying?
Jill says so many like Britishy things.
Yes.
I need a dictionary.
So this is like years of watching Doctor Who, years of watching Sherlock, all these other things that have like I have a pretty good ear for the English accent.
Me too, but damn.
they have come with a little sharpness. Let's judge these individuals' output. Iliane's up top. Disappointed about the looks is they all have cracked really poorly. Paul takes a big old bite and then takes another big old bite. Because if nothing else, Iliane knows her flavors and Paul loves pina colada. Curd is sharp and it's delicious because the curd is so sharp. It's like having a pina colada. It's so good. Prue is amazed by the amount of coconut flavor she's managed to get in the meringue. Says she should have thought of it herself. I like that. I like that they are just out here like, yeah. I keep repeating to people. Truly, one of the finest classes of bakers I've seen on this show. I think the entire run.
It's when we were talking last week about them possibly doing an all-star show and how like people from the first season, how they compete with whoever wins this season, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah. They better not. Maybe invite them to be a judge at one point. You know what I'm saying? That'd be fun. Hey, this guy won the first British Bake Off, and he's here to help us judge this technical. He can set the technical that week. Like that.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine like the people from the BBC one. That was like a totally different. Honestly, it was like a different show.
It does feel like
the first like three maybe they were like a different show.
Yeah. Jill's up next. They like the look of them. They look so clean, really red and white. The colors of the English flag, by the way, y'all. If y'all didn't know that. Punchy. The peach is maybe a little too much. To Paul, the creme tastes artificial, more like candy than fresh fruit. He actually said boiled sweets, but just in case y'all didn't know what that is.
10 peaches, which was probably not a good idea.
I don't know. I gotta tell you, peaches really don't really differ that much from fresh to tinned.
Yeah, I just
it's the juice that they're in that can mess up.
I wonder if it's syrup versus because you can get fruit in juice, which is how I usually try to buy it because I have a 2-year-old. So
I also just think the level of difficulty because it's one of the best seasons with some of the best bakers we've ever seen, and you're using 10 peaches, they're going to look kind of unkindly on that.
I feel like,
and he mentioned it later too.
She has been basically like, I'm gonna make these recipes I came up with, and so far they've gotten her all the way here.
Yeah,
and in fact, further now that we know.
I love Jill. I think she's sensational, even though Prue thinks she's useless in the technical challenge.
Georgie, they like the color. The meringue is all over the place. Poorly piped. The curd works really well though with the plums. The almond extract comes through beautifully, just the right level. Nice original flavors, beautifully balanced. I've rarely heard them say something like, "Hey, that extract you used was good," because people always seem to get it just too much or too little, and so to have somebody finally like, half a teaspoon and no more, or whatever she used. They actually didn't show her measuring, but to get it right is actually kind of dope. But I kind of appreciate that in her.
So I did a plum compote on my loaf cake, and he said the plums bring nothing. So I thought it was funny that he loved them in this.
She got it in.
She did it. She did it right.
I never see whenever one of y'all are hanging out with us, and that's been a few at this point. You make a question pop in my head. How different was the fruit over there compared to ours? Is it like, hey, this fruit tastes really different, or like, this is all the same?
It tastes the same, except for you have someone else going and buying you the best fruit. And like fancy. It's like going to the grocery stores was like, always going to Whole Foods kind of thing. Like they were just it was all really nice produce, whereas like here we just don't have as I don't think it's as close. Like it's not coming in from as close. Like local.
Yeah. Man, English.
Although I've never seen raspberries that big. Those were huge. Mine were not that big.
They really did come through with the wild. What is it? Tesco's like the regular grocery store there. But what's the high-end grocery store there? I can't think of the name of it.
Starts with W, I think. I'm blanking.
Waitrose. It is Waitrose.
Yes,
Thank you.
Waitrose.
Yeah, that's their little their high-end chain of grocery stores over yon. So if it is coming through with the Waitrose raspberries this go around. Christian looks absolutely exquisite. Agree to disagree. Impressed with the piping, Paul doesn't appreciate the flavors. The rose will always dominate unless you are really delicate with it, says Miss Prue. It would seem Christian wasn't that delicate. Now, was he? The things look so gross to me. Everything about it, I was like, nothing. Don't like this. I don't like what you've done, sir. Stop it. But they were perfect in that they not nary a crack in them because he knew what he was doing. He basically propped that door open and gently let the heat escape, so they kept their shape, and gotta respect it. Samaya, they look incredible, like Art Nouveau, but then they eat them, and Paul is like, "That's more savory than sweet."
That's the list of ingredients. I kept thinking like, that feels savory. That feels savory. That feels, and like if you're gonna make a savory meringue thing, go all the way. Like no sweet stuff.
Can't do that during dessert week. Now can you?
Right.
More savory than sweet, and doesn't identify as anything. Just gets lost a bit. Prue, on the other hand, so weird. I love the varying flavors. Love that it's not very sweet. Thinks the toasted rice flour is fantastic. Well done. So that's really kind of a wash. Yeah. Like, hey, I guess we will simply agree to disagree. They saved the best for last. Real intentionality here, y'all. Dylan looks spectacular. Really clever. You get the coconut coming through. The bavois is nice. Prue thinks it has texture, flavor, and the look now. Paul thinks Dylan has done something quite unique and then just extends the hand.
But then pulls it back, but then he did it again. Like, why are you playing games?
Because Dylan was like, no, really. He goes, okay, you've convinced me. And he pulls it back. And then he puts it back out. And he's like, come on, man.
They looked crazy. Like, they were incredible. He just did such a good job.
The fact he made it work. The fact he said, at home, they always crack. And this go around, they did.
Yeah. And that never happens in the tent. Nothing ever works like that.
It goes the other way always. It's original. It's delicious. Well done. Heads up, Dylan shooting lights out this week. Lights out.
to me, and like no shade to Samaya and Christian. I love that they try different, interesting flavors. But he does things where he's like thinking outside of the box, and it's not rose water. It's not, his flavors may be interesting and something they've never tried before, but it's not coffee and lemon.
They're complementary, and they work more than not. So,
you guys ever have the Costco coconut sorbets?
No. Do tell.
Oh, there's like little sorbets that look like they're in whatever, like it looks like a little mango shell, looks like a coconut shell. That's what it reminds me of. Like
get down on that right there.
They're good.
Nick, walk us through it.
Yes, sir. I let my phone close. Okay. Technical challenge set by Prue. Prue advises them that there's a common pitfall to this technique and they should not fall into the trap. They are making spotted dick a British classic, insert dick jokes because the entire tent fell apart, should comprise of a moist, steamed suet sponge studded with currants and accompanied with a silky smooth creme anglaise. And they have 2 hours and 15 minutes.
So, I see the link. Thank you.
I have seen those. Those are adorable.
I think they're good.
Spotted dick.
I'm so glad that they didn't give us a pudding as for anybody who was on for the American season, because we would not have known what to do.
I want to say it was maybe 2 seasons ago where they made small steam puddings.
Yes.
During technical, and somebody dumps them out, and it's just
It
all
was
like
milk. It was just liquid.
y'all got a knot. Spotted dick kind of has been explained, I think, well enough, so I don't need to dive into that one again. But I thought I'd tell you about crème anglaise, which is simply French for English cream. So dumb, right? It's a dessert cream that's a mix of sugar, egg yolks, and hot milk, usually flavored with vanilla. I don't understand how Jill couldn't get it right, but she couldn't. And I'm like, that seems easy. Just slowly pour that milk and keep whisking. But it did not work for her. So oddly enough, but y'all know what it is. They had to make spotted dick and creme anglaise, and here we are. Look, Dylan being like, what's this? Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
A couple of things. Suet is fat pellets, but in this case they use veggie fat pellets, which I'm glad they make, because suet is mostly just where do they source suet?
Beef, lamb, or mutton from the loins and kidneys.
Yeah, it's a specific fat from like that area of those animals' bodies, and so it's like, ugh. And if you
is good fat, like it's supposed to be like a better fat, but yeah, I mean, hearing about it, like you don't want to hear about it.
It's described as the hard fat about the kidneys and loins in beef and mutton that yields tallow, and that is prepared for use in some pharmaceutical ointments, is what this definition says. Suet and veggie suet is just, look, basically it's lard and Crisco. It's just it's just they use it in pellet form.
But they use it in pudding.
Well, yeah, because they use lard is in baking in some people's things, and so
I just think of not animal fat when I think of pudding.
You got to not think of pudding like we think of pudding, though.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that it is like a baked good.
Yeah, because all they mean by pudding is dessert.
Yeah.
So it's a big universal word over there.
Well, it's like sponge. My friend was like, "Oh, I want to make a light cake. Should I make a sponge?" I said, "Sponge just means cake."
Yeah.
You've done nothing. It's all sponge when you think about it. What else happened during the baking situation? Oh, Dylan, like, what's this string for? and Ilya finally have to be like, "Hey, boy, what you think the string is for? Let's think on that. Let's think on it." And all right, there you go. Came to terms. Like, you knucklehead boy. Sometimes the youth just be too youthin' on that child. Let us judge these people's output. Judging goes like this. Jill's up top. The sauce is a little pale. What they mean by the sauce is a little pale is that they have to pour basically they're supposed to make a caramelized syrup situation. And remember, they're doing caramel week. You got to trust the process, and you got to let it go longer than you think, because it has to darken up to a point where then you get the flavor and you get the look that they're looking for. The custard is a scrambled egg. It looks so bad. A little heavy, a little stodgy, but good flavor. Eileen's up next. The sponge is quite soggy and has become quite glutinous, really heavy and stodgy. It's a shame. Her problem was too much water in her pot, and it kind of splashed into her pot, and basically she had wet sponge.
Ooh, I'm gonna pass out.
Georgie, color on the syrup is okay. Custard not bad. Sponge is lovely. Easy as that. Dylan, the pudding has a lightness to it. Nice custard. Tastes good too. Love it. It's pleasant. Pleasant.
Killing it.
Samaya, stuck to the bowl. Outside soggy. It's gluey. It's raw inside. It tastes floury. I guess we should have discussed Samaya at one point as she was putting her batter, dough, whatever, in a bowl. She was like, "Oh no, I didn't put the sugar in this."
Woo!
Stars and garters, y'all. No. So then she has to go take it out, put the sugar. And of course, doing that after the fact is going to, of course, she's like, "Man, I'm overworking this dough." But it also means remember the pitfall proof mentioned, the pitfall being this needs to steam for about an hour and a half. An hour will not do it for you. And your results will be a stuck to the bowl, soggy, gluey, raw inside, and tastes floury.
Gluey, tastes floury. Like, I can't even imagine having to eat that.
Yeah, it was
I was just
basically
gonna say, like, I feel bad for them some of the time. Some of the times they have to eat.
Christian, syrup is far too pale. He knew it. He's like, they're gonna tell me this syrup is too pale because you gotta hold on, baby, just a little longer. Doesn't look like caramel at all. It's just sugar syrup, but a nice custard, and they quite like the pudding. It's just there you go. It's what it is. Rank them. Well, surprise, surprise. Some eyes at the bottom. It's quite gluey. Eileen's next. Too stodgy. Jill's number 4. Christian's number 3. Coming in second. Georgie. Not too bad. Not at all. Nice sponge. It's like excellent. Like I said, any other week, any other competitor, like I said, y'all, like I said, we get the Showstopper. It's gonna be fun. Dylan, custard silky smooth, nice light sponge. Well done. Repeat it to you. Absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
Okay. I have like not. I don't think I've seen a baker ever just come through and like, hold on, let me show you something. Dylan had that work this week, and I was very impressed. We'll talk about that more after whatever. Nick, what's up next?
This is our Showstopper challenge. The judges would like to see their take on an Italian classic, tiramisu. The tiramisu must have the 3 classics, coffee, mascarpone, and lady's fingers, but they can add any additional elements and flavors they like. They have 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Nick Jew, were you Showstop this week?
Yes, I was.
Same. Nick Jew does not like wet desserts. No. I agree with Nick Jew fully for these things. So I am not a fan of tiramisu. Okay. But I can appreciate what these bakers was baking up this week.
So tiramisu,
it's not my first, but
yeah, I wouldn't call it wet bread, honestly. I've had it and it doesn't make me
uncomfortable.
Gag. Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
doesn't quite give you the ick.
No, not the way that like tres leche cake.
Oh, see, I love tres leches.
It tastes incredible. It's the texture that I have an issue with.
Yeah, tiramisu is just like not my favorite, but some of these sounded really good.
Yeah.
Some of these flavor combos.
Yeah.
What, did you guys have any ideas of like what you would do if you were doing yours?
Not at all. Because I sat there and listened, like, yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's perfectly logical. Yeah, sure. No, I could not have pulled any of this off. I guess I kind of like Jill's ideal of doing more of a Charlotte Russe than traditional, like, you know, lady fingers stuff like that. I like that vibe of wrapping around. That kind
I'm
of.
already intimidated by the fact that there's 3 elements that are already there. Like, what else could I possibly add to it? Maybe like some fruit somewhere.
Factual statements here.
Yeah, my brain goes to like chai flavors,
Oh.
cardamom. It's like
Ooh.
coffee chai. Like,
Yo, see, that becomes the immediate like flip though. If like don't do coffee, instead do a chai, that could be amazing.
but I think
Or,
you
like,
had to have the
s'mores.
espresso. So,
Yeah.
I get that they want that.
ooh, s'mores! I
Yeah.
like that idea. That's a cool idea.
S'mores.
That's why she's a baker, and I'm simply a guy who cooks there every now and again at home.
And
I made a fire meatloaf this weekend, y'all.
Nice.
Turkey,
Some
your boy don't
chicken
eat no
smothering right now that has my house smelling very divine.
Strong, black like me. I love me some Illian, y'all. So she like her coffee. Up top, Georgie, old Italian tiramisu. She is going for basically a family recipe. She's like, I know what I'm doing here, so I'm not going to tweak it too much. Ladyfingers, traditionally made with the aforementioned Genoese, if y'all want it, Genoise. Mascarpone cheese whip situation, but to tweak it, she's gonna throw in a hazelnut praline. She's gonna put these lovely little chocolate roses on top, and then wrap the whole thing in a mixed chocolate color, ruby chocolate, white chocolate, and chocolate. And I'm like, okay, that's a square idea. Dig what you're doing there, Georgie. Dylan's going for concrete box tiramisu. Also trying to basically sticking with traditional flavors. He says he wants to elevate things. So he's going to mix in cured egg yolks into the mascarpone filling, which I know, and eventually they'll get around to it. It's going to add a richness to it and a bit of a salty character. Espresso and amaretto soaked ladyfingers presented in a chocolate box made to look like concrete. It's a very cool idea. Jill, coconut latte Charlotte Russe. Tiramisu, espresso soaked ladyfingers, of course. Jill does not like coffee at all. I was like, I had to lean on my husband for this one. Word to Steve. And
why she shout him out like he died?
on top of Steve. Jill's the best. Coconut mascarpone mousse and an espresso buttercream and these chocolate curls that chocolate curls are just a part of basically you decorate most tiramisus with some chocolate shavings. So perfect sense. Illeen's going for a jewelry box tiramisu, chocolate and almond biscuit base, along with coffee-soaked ladyfingers, but a fruity layer made with cherries that are then going to be cooked in non-alcoholic amarettos. Got these amaretto, those cherries they sell in the little jars.
Maraschino.
No. There's these cherries they sell in these fancy what are they called?
Do you mean like the Luxardo ones?
Luxardo. Yeah, they come in as that weird looking it looks like a Greek herb. It's like a cool jar.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can use it at Trader Joe's sometimes.
Yes, yeah. When we were in Philly, the Trader Joe's over there by Chinatown had them in their little section. So,
Amarena, that's the other one. There's Luxardo and Amarena.
Yeah, I think she was going for an Amareno.
It's like an almondy.
Yep. That's exactly what she's aiming for by cooking them in amaretto. All that's going to be inside of a sponge paid situation that you can kind of see through, but a screen effect that she's working on. A cool idea. Christian, Memphis Milano tiramisu. Coffee soaked ladyfingers, you know what it is. But this time he's going to tweak it. He's going to add Marsala wine to his mascarpone cream. So it's going to have stewed strawberries with an eighth of a teaspoon, said it to himself, of rose water. Once again, just leave it out. Because he literally says you're not going to taste it. And if you're not going to taste it,
then why is it there? An eighth of a teaspoon? That's like, what are we even doing?
Yeah. But he's also going to top it with a pistachio mousse and wrap it in a white and dark chocolate collar. We'll get to it.
With it.
Yeah, boy. Samaya is going for a batik mousse cake tiramisu. She's going to make a coffee lemon curd. No, mixing coffee with lemon curd, a praline, mascarpone mousse, chocolate cremeux, all wrapped in a Jacquard sponge collar. Again, the definition of doing too much. But
Maybe
also,
it's me. Maybe I'm uncultured. Coffee and lemon. That sounds
you are
like
not.
Federal offense.
You heard Paul say no. You heard Bruce say no. It is clearly not a thing that should happen. Coffee doesn't even have it. Coffee has more cherry notes than anything because coffee is from a berry situation. It lends itself in that direction more than it would go for citrus. There are some citrus notes in like coffee. You'll taste a little something like whatever, but it's notes of citrus, not citrus. So no.
I can't abide by it.
Hell no. It's not just a little bit of no, y'all. Ugh. It's really disappointed me this week. I want you to know that. We'll come back
And she's like an amazing decorator, a fantastic baker. It was always her flavors were a little like, oh, I forget her name from seasons past, who would always do something and Paul would be like, oh, it's too spicy or whatever. And I always was like, oh, okay, whatever she's trying, it doesn't sound like something I would like. And then Paul and Prue would love it. And then this week it was just, not only was her ideas were odd, her execution just fell off for every single thing.
It was bad. Dylan, because up front, I'm like, it's like they put somebody up front last week. I'm like, I don't think you should be putting these ones up front. It's bad. You make everybody else look bad by comparison. But not this time.
What did he put that thing down? I was like, boy, you got to be kidding me. This is incredible.
Gorgeous box. Needed a pin. Love the finish. More aluminium than concrete, but fantastically clever. You know I had to do it, girl. Fantastically clever. Beautiful layers. Really classic, strong coffee. Not too sweet. The cured egg yolks come through with like a salted caramel vibe. Excuse me, caramel vibe for them. Caramel or caramel? How do you pronounce it?
I think I say caramel.
See, when you get put on the spot, you're like, "Ooh, I
know. I don't know what I say for pecan or pecan either. Like,
I think I say caramel. Yeah, and I think I flip the nuts too.
It's caramel. It's pecan, and that's only because I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and that's what they call them in Memphis, Tennessee. Pecan. So there you go. Beautiful flavor, creamy, feels luxurious. Every element beautifully made. Shot lights out, beginning to end. Done. Georgie, very pretty. Chocolate color is exceptional.
Gorgeous.
Shiny and beautifully done. Love the layers. Love it. Delicate. Prue thinks the recipe for tiramisu should change, and Georgie should now be how tiramisu is made. That is the compliment, y'all. All right, two up right now, right? Christian, love the color. Beautifully executed. Effective. Just exquisite. Unusual because it's fruit with coffee, but the marsala goes with the coffee, and it's amazing. Prue agrees, thinks it's very delicious. I need to stop y'all and tell y'all about Georgie. Once again, my man Christian this week. This is when his designer mind, I think, takes over. He's inspired by a designing collective Memphis Milan. Yeah, Memphis Milan was a crew, and now they're just called I think they're still they're called the Memphis Group. They're just designers, and they do this things. And if you look it up, Memphis Milan, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of remember this vibe back in the day because they were responsible for the look of things. This cake looked insane in all the best ways. And so I think
there's this Russian people I follow on Instagram, or maybe they're you, I can't remember, but they do crazy stuff like that, like the cutout chocolate.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. I really was taken aback by it. So there you go. Basically, that's 3 in a row, right? Right. Okay. Ilian's up next. Great looking cake. Love the colors. Works very nicely. Flavors are fantastic. The sponge is beautifully baked. The coffee level is perfect. They love the cherries in there. It's a little bit of tartness that comes through. It's a little triumph. Well done.
A little triumph. Oh, the smile on her face when Prue said, I was just like that. What a great judging for her.
Exactly. 4 up, 4 straight. Right. Jill, very elegant. Delicious. Love the coconut. The sponge is lovely. The coffee is wonderful. Why, look, that's 5 straight.
Great looking cakes.
Absolutely fire looking, tasting, experience cakes. Then we come to number 6. The printed sponge is beautiful. Love the pattern. I want you to know I've never seen a cake this pretty in my life.
Pretty. Except for that big old crack in the place where she cut it and put it together.
in anybody's house, you just face that toward the kitchen wall.
But the camera was like, "Bow."
The colors are amazing. I have no idea how she pulled that shade of green off that she did. It's so pretty, y'all.
Insane.
But that break isn't very neat, though, is it? And Prue takes a bite, and you see her eyes squint a little bit, like, that band of a lemony coffee curd is a bit of a shock. And Paul Straight was like, I don't like the sharpness of lemon with coffee. Prue's like, maybe thinner layers, as they basically just try to start breaking down, like, how could this work? As they start considering it as, a baker and a restaurateur. It's like, maybe something is here because it's too pretty and it kind of is doing something. No. Thinner layers maybe would have been better. No. It's a work in progress and it definitely needs more polishing.
Not putting coffee and lemon together would have been
probably would have been where I started. Or just taste it right quick.
Yeah.
We got a real lack of people not just like, hold on, let me just get my pinky in there right quick.
Right.
But like, did her family and friends like it when she was practicing? Like, I'm confused by that.
Bro, what human likes lemon and coffee together?
But you know what it is? Love is love. And sometimes you'd be like, you know what? Maybe they probably like, you know what? It's not for me. It's not for me, but maybe they'll appreciate it.
That's not how I love. I'm like, this is disgusting. Sorry, I love you, but this is nasty.
Like, baby, this is just gross.
I'm surprised no one did like green tea. Like, I feel like that would have been like weird flavor, but goes with it more.
It really was, and I think truly, and I think this really was. They talk about the curse of the Star Baker. This go around, I truly believe it was. I think she was like, I have to bring something more to be better this week. And also, I'm just like, no, you don't. You just have to stay the course. That's what got you Star Baker. Not doing too much, far too much, from signature on through to Showstopper, and a absolutely terrible technical.
It's a shame too, because she's just such an amazing baker.
That is a person who'll be famous for baking or whatever, if she's so inclined, going in the future. She'll be.
But like Paul said, from here on out, a good baker is going home
every week.
Yeah.
Dylan, I don't think we talked about, but he did something with like some egg yolk. Was it this one? He did?
Yes, I did.
Was it this one or his?
It's this one.
No, but the way he did it, they like it was preserved.
They're cured.
Yeah. I've done it. I've done it with just salt, but I didn't know you could do salt and sugar.
Yep. So half sugar, half salt, just the yolk in these. You make little indents and you put the little yolks in there and you let it sit and just cover it back over. And
I know we talked about, but I want to discuss like what the hell? How do you do that?
Well, hey, he like I said, that's definitely something he brought to the tent. There's no way that he would have had time to do it in that 4.5 hours.
Right.
But I as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm hip. Because people will oftentimes put it on they'll do the salted ones over their pasta.
Okay.
Brings a richness, a little cheesiness, kind of saltiness to it, a little fattiness, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And so, like I said, and of course, Prue was like, I ain't never had no cured egg, but baby, I see you.
Yeah. And but it's literally you do this to the raw egg yolk and then mix it.
So basically take your baker sheet, pour in this case a mix of sugar and salt, a layer of it. You make yourself little divots, and then you take the yolk and just drop the yolk in there, and then you cover it all up, and you wait. I don't think a couple of days.
Few days.
Yeah, just to cure them, and they'll harden up and so forth, and they'll just remove all the moisture and so forth. And egg yolk is just basically all fat. So
interesting.
Yeah. Like I said,
I forgot. I did it, but I forgot about them, so I didn't use them. So I got to try again.
I mean,
you're in the back of the fridge. You're like, what is? Oh shoot!
I tried to make soy eggs. My kid was on a ramen streak.
I've seen those on TikTok.
Yes,
it's more challenging than you think it is.
Oh, I bet.
But let me tell you right now, I have boiling eggs down to a science. I ended up going to what is it? Series Seats? J. Kinsey Lopez Alt's website about all things cooking. And basically, here's the trick, y'all. Boil the water first, slowly dip your eggs in there. About 8 minutes. Yeah, slightly fudgy, I guess I described it. That yolk interior, and I'm okay with that. Because hard boiling, over hard boiling, like where the yolk is basically a green ball. Nobody want that.
Not too much on that green ball. I like a good old when you cut it. It's like a.
I get that, but I'm saying there is where you go just a little too far, and so we don't want to go that far. So I can appreciate that. But in a ramen, like I said, you want to be slightly on the lesser done because the ramen is going to cook the egg the rest of the way. Go check out Serious Eats or Goody, whatever it is. Maybe I'll throw the link in the show notes. Worry not. Oh, your star baker was of course Dylan because guess what? Lights out all night. Up and down the board.
Like you said, he kind of like he didn't do any. It didn't seem like anything was like that wild, but everything he just nailed it. Like everything he did, he nailed it.
Exactly.
Hat trick, like excellent signature, winning, technical, really great showstopper.
Yeah. I think last week kind of shook him because he knew he really was on just the edge of going home last week, and I know he knows his stuff. That guy's going to be. I'm excited to see where he goes in life. I hope I can keep up with him because I'm like, because he wants to be a chef is what he said, and I can see that happen for him, and I hope it does work out like that. Samaya went home and she earned it. Mind you, that's 2-star bakers and a handshake that she got and still went home. That's the level of baker we have in the tent this go around, y'all. You got to respect it. And she just a bit unlucky. And again, probably like I said, doing a little too more than she needed to for this week. And like I said, I'm certain she kind of got in her head. It's like, I got to do this because I'm star baker. Now I got to be the star baker. Like, no, you don't. Stay the course. You see what Jill's doing over here, just making good home food, but slightly twisted. Like, okay, they said she makes her portions too big. All right, she like got it down to size when the week she won star baker. There's things that you got to do, but of course we watching it from the outside. We playing, Monday morning, in this case Tuesday evening quarterback, and that's just what it is. Next week, quarterfinals begin. 70s week is the theme. So
it's gonna be some Jello. I'm gonna just not eat while I'm watching.
Weirdest week themes.
I really enjoyed the autumn week, and I hope they bring that one around. 70s as a theme is like, remember when that one thing that Nelly made? They're like, that's straight from the 70s. That's maybe that's something they want. Maybe that's something they think they'll appreciate. And so, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know the deal. Everywhere you can, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit us up over on YouTube or Twitch. You can watch us do it live or come watch us later. I actually go through and I edit this video. I do some tweaks. I change some things. I remove some things as need be. I put a sweet little fun little technical difficulties interstitial last week that I thought was pretty hilarious. I have a good time editing the video for the show, and I think it's worth watching. But of course, you can go listen to us anywhere. Review us on or give us some stars on Spotify, and if you can, write us a review on Apple Podcasts. Every little bit helps. Go hit up that reel I put up on Stage Crunchy and Milk's Instagram the other day. It's got a few views on it. More than a few views on it. It's not bad. It's got some work. Thank you. I say a little effort, little middle of the day effort. I was like, oh, I can do something with that right quick. Let me do that. I looked down at my phone and noticed Spotify was doing the transcription. And I was like, oh, I can do something with this. And so there you go. That's how that ended up working out.
Nice.
Hit us up, podcast at stagecrunchyandmilk.com, or you can call us and or text messages for your song client 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We certainly love to hear from you. And hear from you. We have. It's the homeboy Frank in the building. Latest episode of GBBO. Hi, y'all. Well, I imagine you're as gutted as I am, and as much as Paul said
Nelly.
No, in this case, Samaya.
Oh, I thought he was talking about.
Remember, Frank is always with us. He is.
That's true. That he right. Yes, it was a sad first week without Nelly, but I follow her on TikTok.
Fair. At first, I was in utter shock with Samaya's elimination. But during the extra slice, there was the partial explanation. They asked her, how could she make such a blunder as forgetting to add sugar in the techno? She said the night before was her 19th birthday. Oh, my little baby. Oh. And she was partying at a Taylor Swift concert. So she was very tired throughout the day. I am still shocked she started college to study dentistry. She should go. She could have an amazing career as a pastry chef. When they did her montage, they reminded people of all the beautiful bakes she did, especially the duck. Word to Pato. I imagine the show is asking her back for a holiday edition of the show. By the way, here's a nice interview with Prue. Again, there's no diss to Frank. I was just like, I don't think I appreciate this source. And here's a shot of her at London Fashion Week on the runway. And did I pull that picture up? Prue looks fancy, y'all. Again, I'll give you a link in the show notes. Worry not. She looks amazing getting her fashion on. 84 years old. Prue Leith. Put some respect on her name, y'all. But that was this week's Krème Patisserie, Great British Bake Off podcast. We talked about dessert week. It was a delight. Victoria, thank you so very much for coming to kick it with us. So nice to have you back.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, totally.
That's what podcast is what we do. We're pretty decent at it. Nick, as always, thank you. You're the best.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you as always. We might have our Miss Amanda 216's own Tatum back for the next few episodes. He might be able to join us for the quarter semis and finale.
Woo-hoo.
I'm not guaranteeing you anything. I'm hopeful. You know, my man is out on a parental leave at this point. So,
Nice.
Anthony made a whole nother child, Vic.
Yeah, I remember they were pregnant, so I was assuming that's where he's been.
Yeah, so I figured if the job gave him time off, we should probably do the same. So.
He's probably got bigger things to do than checking out dessert week.
Indeed. Well, no. So I just talked the other day.
He's still watching?
He's been watching.
All caught up.
Nice.
Still watching. So don't worry.
I have been avoiding the group chat because I didn't know for sure, like if he was watching or not. But now that I know,
Yep. So we're all good. All good in that regard. Ant is up to date, y'all. Oh, I am the Entertainer 713. Bake with us once more next week. We'll see you then. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.